It is time, everyone. The Despia have arrived. Hello, everyone. Welcome back. This is Mini Venom. I'm going for the Despia Shaddoll Dogmatika this time around. Hopefully, starting next week, I'll be taking the branded engine that I mentioned in my first deck profile, and I'll be showing you the different variants of the branded Invoked or the branded Despia in Shaddoll Dogmatika. And then the last one should be them all together. And to begin, 2 Aluber of Despia. If you summon, just add a branded spell or trap card from your deck to your hand. And then... if a fusion monster is destroyed by battle or leaves the field from an opponent's card effect while this card is in your graveyard, target 1 effect monster your opponent controls, special summon this card if you do negate the effects. Till the end of the turn. You can only use the effect of Aluber once per turn. Sorry, I was trying to read that. Next, 2 Despia Tragedy. Basically, this sent to the graveyard in any fashion. Add a Despia monster from your deck to your hand, which is probably going to be either your Aluber or your one of the next 2 cards that I show. Then, if this is in the graveyard, you could banish it. Add 1 branded spell or trap from your graveyard to your hand. Next, 2 Dramaturge of Despia. The substitute for the Maximus in the Dogmatika package. You'll see later. I believe, not believe, he is better than Maximus, but just because you don't have to banish any of the extra deck materials from your graveyard to summon Maximus. If one is summoned and you have it in your hand, just special summon it. Next is 1 Ad Libitum of Destiny. Despia? Destiny. That's weird. During main phase, that's right. This is the one that if it attacks, everyone gains 100 attack for their own levels. This turn, this is used as fusion material when this is sent to the graveyard. Or banish, you can target 1 Despia monster level 8 or higher. Fusion that is banished or in your graveyard, special summon it. I still have it broken down into the engines, so this is the rest of the Despia stuff. So I play 1 branded in red. It basically recycles monsters, but if it's, you can also fusion summon if it's a Despia. Next, 2 branded opening. Target 1, discard, take 1 Despia from your deck, and either add to your hand or special summon defense. For the rest of the turn, you can't. After this effect, you can't special summon except for from the extra deck, except fusion monsters. Seeing as how I play all fusions, this really isn't a negative anymore. Then the field spell, the branded theater, Despia Theater of the Branded. You can fusion 1 level 8 or higher fusion monster from your extra deck by using monsters in your hand or field as material. Face a monster you control leaves the field by kind of card effect or by battle. Target 1 level 8 fusion monster in your graveyard, special summon it. So basically, if you lose a monster, you just bring it back. Then 1 Polymerization. You'll see why later. Onto the Shaddolls. It's pretty much the same from the Invoked Shaddoll Dogmatika. Everything stayed the same in the monster zones. Sorry. Just 1 Windy, 1 Aerial, 1 Beast, 1 Dragon, 2 Squamata, and then 1 Hedgehog. That stayed the same. The only thing that changed for the Shaddoll spells and traps is I lost the El Shaddoll fusion and just brought it down to the Shaddoll Fusions and the Shaddoll Schism. Because you really don't need the El Shaddoll Fusion, it's just there for an extra, oh hey, I don't have the materials required, or I don't know what I was trying to go for. But you really don't need them. Next, instead of 3 you're only running 2 Ecclesia because the Despia took up a lot of the material, so I had to reduce it down to 2 Ecclesia, take out 1, and then 1 Fleur-de-Lis, because it's still very nice. Just, oh hey, opponent activates a card effect, summon, negate. Then 2 Nadir Servants, and then the 1 Punishment. And then the rest of the main deck just kind of stayed the same. It's the 2 Ash, Terraforming, Call by the Grave, 2 Super Poly, 2 Twin Twister, not the 3, and then 3 Infinite Permanents. The extra deck, yeah, it's 100% fusion monsters now, so you don't have to worry about linking off into your Alistair plays. But 1 Despian Quiritus. This guy attacks you. Change all your opponent's monsters to attack to 0. Requires a light or dark, and 1 Despia. This card leaves the field because of an opponent's card effect. Add to your hand or special summon 1 Fallen Abyss or Despia monster from your deck. Despian Preskinian. He is your wall. Either you're attacking or just blocking whatever your opponent decides to throw at you. And then when he destroys an opponent's monster, you can take control of it. And then the big honcho is the Masquerade the Blazing Dragon. Anytime your opponent activates a card effect, sorry, my hand's so shaky, I don't know why. Well, you control this fusion summon monster, your opponent must pay 600 life points activating cards or effects. Wait, if your opponent controls a Ritual Fusion, Synchro, Xyz, or Link, while this card is in your graveyard, special summon it, but then once it leaves the field again, banish it. You only run those 3 Despia fusions because that's all there is. I would say you'll see a card I'm going to mention later, but you can drop it for a second copy of the Masquerade. And then Shaddolls, just run 2 Windy, 2 Aquapolone, that's standard, and then 2 Shaddoll Constructs, because that's all the best Shaddoll monsters. Still run the 1 Titaniclad because he has a really good effect of he gets sent to the graveyard at a Dogmatika or Fallen Valbaz. And then just he's always there for your Dogmatika Punishment or Nadir Servant. Shoot Poly target is your Starving Venom still, but I've also added the Predaplant Dracostapelia. If you can get the upgraded version of him, the one that requires 3 dark monsters, definitely run him over this, but with a lot of the fusion monsters, especially for the Despias, he actually turns out to be very good. This is the one I was referring to that you could swap out for as something else. I run the Dark Magician of the Dragon Knight, because if your opponent has any dragon monster on the field, if you have a Dark Magician, the one I have for my branded engine. Super Poly, just get this. Your opponent can't target your back row. It just turns out to be very good. Then, because of the polymerization, 1 Guardian Chimera. Fuse a monster on your field, and then 2 from your hand with the polymerization. And then you just destroy 2 cards your opponent controls, and then draw 2. Very good. Then lastly is your Elder Entity Natis. You could use her for your Nadir Servant or your Dogmatika Punishment just to pop another card in your opponent's field. And that is my Despia Shaddoll Dogmatika deck profile. Hope you all enjoyed. Thank you so much for watching. Have a nice day.